What's up, Weslaco? I'm Mayor Adrian Gonzalez, your host, and today podcast is entitled Weslaco Strong. We're going to discuss about our preparation when it comes to hurricane season to ensure the safety for all our citizens and kind of give you a little insight on what we do to prepare for not only hurricane season, but these storms that come year round. So, before we go on to the topic, I just want to share a little story about hurricanes. Back in 2008, when Hurricane Dolly hit, the wind started blowing all over the place and all that stuff. And, I had to run outside to go get some stuff. And when I ran outside, I was like, hey, I want to go out there and kind of see how strong these winds are. I got to get that anyways. And man, things were flying all over the place. And the winds were strong. And I just remember like running back inside and saying, all right, I ain't going back outside. But, so today, last podcast we introduced our directors. So today I have Mr. David Arce, who's in charge of our public works. And it's going to kind of give us a little bit about what we do to prepare and what his department does to prepare for hurricane season. So, Mr. Arce here is a little shy, but he's going to get through it. So, David, welcome, man, to our first podcast.
Hello.
So give a little insight on and let the citizens know what we do to prepare, not only for hurricane season, but year round.
Well, we have 4 departments, and every department plays a role in the daily maintenance, whether it's getting our equipment up to be able to cut the ditches, or our back truck that would, clean the storm drains underground. We do storm, inlets, the storm drains, about give or take about 1,000 linear feet a week on average. Sometimes more, sometimes less, but that's what we try to hit. Obviously, some areas, we have a little bit more debris, maybe some leaves that come down from above, but we try to hit those areas a little more. But on our streets department, the street sweeper is just as vital is keeping the curbs clean, because all that eventually goes to the drain, and in the drain, it'll build up. You have different things that go in there, so we have to send our vac truck to go in there. So everybody plays a role, from our citizens to our drainage department, to our streets department, to our fleet department. Our water and sewer department, everybody plays a role in keeping the system clean. I do want to, emphasize when there's something that's blatantly obvious, a refrigerator, stuck in a ditch somewhere, please let us know. Please let us know. We need to get that out, because that's going to affect not just maybe your neighborhood, but it might affect, a large area of Weslaco. So something that's so simple that we could have taken out before. We drive the ditches, but again, we can't be everywhere all the time. We need your help. We need the help of the city.
Yeah, pretty much it's help me help you.
We're here to help.
Yeah, and a lot of it is, a lot of illegal dumping.
Illegal dumping,
and we see that a lot, and it clogs up where the flow goes. And I know that yourself and our city guys do a tremendous job and being out there. I was out there these past 2 storms, and I see how dedicated our workers are,
our staff,
into making sure that we are out there cleaning what we have to clean.
Correct.
And I know I got a lot of compliments from our citizens this time around, that they saw a lot of our city trucks and a lot of our employees out there, trying to make sure that our inlets were clean and that the water was flowing. So, that says a lot on your department.
So that's year round. But the day of, when we do get those rains, we're out there trying to, the very obvious stuff, water bottles, a board, something that may be blocking. But then it's the after all the water's gone down. It's making sure, is there something that's slow that we need to get quick attention to? Again, I know the mayor, the commissioners, they're driving around, our city manager's driving around, our staff's driving around. It's a total team effort. Team effort.
Yes. And David, I just want to say on behalf of myself and the commission, and you guys do a great job, and keep on doing all the, keep on doing what you're doing yourself, and all our hardworking, employees, in making sure that we do what we have to do to make sure that our citizens, um, there's no water in their houses, and we are doing the almost, we're doing so much to prevent that. And there's still a big plan that we have that, that we're going to help out with this drainage issue. And that's our number one priority. So,
I think in our next podcast we're going to talk about that, right?
yeah,
The,
yes,
the
we are.
projects coming up.
We're going to talk about projects so that people can be informed on what's going on, and that, what's really out there, what we're going out there, how we go, and we're trying to look for monies to continue and finish off these projects. So, David, I appreciate you being on here, and I know that we're going to have our next guest. And we just heard from our Public Works Director, David Arce, and now we're going to bring Chief Lopez, who not only is our fire chief, but at times like this, he is the emergency manager. And he pretty much and it doesn't start right when we're looking at the news. Now, it goes more into, as soon as it gets into the golf, or even before then, we start preparing. So, Chief, thank you for being here, and thank you for being a part of this podcast.
Yes,
I'm
Mr.
very
Mayor.
excited. And I just want you to inform the citizens on what the city does, what the city does when this situation arises.
So emergency management is a big picture. We're looking at everything that happens in the city. This is where it starts is at home through the citizens, right? The citizen is the emergency manager of their home. Our job, from the objectives set by you, Mr. Mayor, to our Office of Emergency
Yeah,
Management.
by the way, I got a badge. I have a badge for that.
So the objectives come from the mayor. We've had those conversations, lengthy conversations of what is going to be our response. What is our duty to the citizen, and what is it that we're going to be doing hour on hour? So one of the things is exactly how you said, Mr. Mayor, this is something that we're looking at year round. This is not just hurricane season. This is not just the May, April showers season. This is what we're looking at is an all hazard approach. Could be a hurricane, could be a power outage, could be an infrastructure damage that's going to be critical to the city. That's what we're looking at day in, day out, and that's what emergency management is. So it's a lot of building blocks that go together. We have an awesome team of all departments that come together, and the Office of Emergency Management get this done.
Yeah, no, I know I participated on our first, the tropical depression type of deal.
Alberto, yes.
That was my first, experience and on doing all that. And I got firsthand on what exactly everyone does. And I was very impressed with, how everything's set up, and everybody has not only your team, but the whole, all the directors, because every director is in charge of something that they need to do to prepare for any situation.
And that's correct. So we have the Emergency Operations Center that we open, which is located currently here at City Hall. This is the brain of the operation. This is where all the moving parts, not only for the city, Mr. Mayor, that you got to see there, but for our partners that we have. We have regional partners that are part of our game a team, our game plan. Regional partners, state partners, and federal partners that all have a seat at our EOC with us when those days come. So that's very important for us. And how you said about hurricane season, it's very important for us to be on track, making sure we're monitoring these storms, potential storms, as they're coming off the coast of Africa. Hurricane Beryl that we were monitoring, we were blessed that it did not hit the Rio Grande Valley.
Yeah.
And we were spared on this one, being a historical storm very early in the season. We were monitoring this since it came off of Africa, potential storm development. So it seemed like we were monitoring that storm for almost a month. It was about almost 2 weeks. But the fatigue to the departments, they're on like literally 100%, 150% on, waiting for that storm to come. And you heard a little bit about what David Ase and his public works teams does. David was a little humble in talking about what they do day in, day out. There's a saying, Mr. Mayor, and I think you've heard that, where the city's finest are the police officers because they're enforcing the law, the city's finest. And then you hear the city's bravest is the firefighters because they're going into burning homes, burning buildings. Well, I always say every time we have an opportunity to talk on emergency management, our public works teams are the city's strongest.
Oh, yeah.
They're our
I
city's
see
strongest.
that. I see that.
Yeah, they're the ones that come in with the big toys, the watering pumps, the excavators, and all that stuff. And they're a crucial part of emergency management because we can have multi-million-dollar pieces of equipment at the stations. And we need to run for a call of service. But if the street's flooded, we're not going to be able to do that. If there's a tree in the middle of the street, we're not going to be able to do that. So Mr. Rod said David was a little humble on what they do, and then his team does.
He was camera shy. We'll
Yeah.
give him that, but next time he'll be ready.
But they're a major crucial part of when we're in response mode, and emergency service goes back to the stations and back to the PD after 24, 36, 72 hours of 24-hour operations. Their team in emergency management could be a week, a month, 6 months. Well, we've seen that in the past.
Yeah, no, and just really brief, if you can kind of just let the citizens know what they have to do in case of a hurricane, what key things they need to have, and what they need to do to be prepared for any storm that comes our way.
So on that part, the citizen, the way they prepare is make sure that they continue monitoring the weather, the local news media. Make sure you follow the city's Facebook page and all the social media platforms that the city has. That's where you're going to get the true information of what's actually happening out there. When we brief, we get the briefing from the state and or federal government. So we want to make sure that we pass that on to the citizen. Citizens, we need to make sure that us, as all of us as citizens, need to make sure that we have a 96-hour prep of food available. You're seeing what's happening in Houston right now.
Yeah.
Loss of power for millions of people, and it's been a week. Some they're saying another week without power. So 96 hours of food prep, also a gallon of water per day per individual in your household. Make sure you have 2 weeks of medication. We know how medication could be crucial, right, to the health and safety of our citizens. So making sure that we have at least two weeks of medication supply. And then make sure we take care of our pets. Our pets are part of the family.
Furry friends.
And that's very important for us to also look into. But, making sure that you have a plan to get from point A to point B.
That's awesome information, and thank you, Chief, for sharing all this information. I know, again, we've had these past 2 storms that we prepared for, and I just want to say to the citizens that the city employees and all of us work extremely hard to make sure that we are there for all our citizens of the city of Weslaco, and that we are able to make sure that we're there for whatever you need. And that's part of what we want to do with this podcast is keep everything positive. Make sure that everybody is informed on what goes on. Even myself, being when I first got elected, I learned a lot. I continue to learn on what goes on and how the city operates. So we are here for you guys. And sure enough, as we get rolling with this podcast, we're gonna, ask for you guys to send questions that you all have so we can answer them. And again, this is our hurricane season. And you can always call our emergency management, center.
Yeah. So that number is our City Hall number, 968-3181, to get any information on anything that's happening out there, Mr. Mayor. And the City Hall will move that to the Emergency Operations Center or to any department to answer any questions.
And that's 24/7, right?
That's 24/7.
When it's
yes, sir.
going.
Correct.
Awesome. And again, citizens, we are here to inform you guys, to keep you up to speed on what goes on behind, I guess you could say closed doors, and make sure that we're prepared for anything that comes our way. And I know that there's a lot of these streets that do get flooded, but it drains out. We are working and doing our best to make sure that we fix these problems. Trust me when I say that we care and we're going to work. And that's one thing that I will promise to every citizen, that myself and our commission will do our best to make sure that we fix the problems and we find solutions to these problems to make sure that, no street or no water goes into your houses. Give us some time. It takes time, but we're going to work and do our best to make sure that happens. So again, thank you for joining our podcast, and be prepared for our next one. And if you haven't seen the first 2, make sure you go out there and check it out. We're getting better. We're getting better, and we will continue to be better. So again, thank you guys for joining in on What's Up, Weslaco. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.